to chant that on the appearance days of the different incarnations. So today is a good day to chant Dasavatar Stotra. So beautiful. Yeah. The other one, Namaste Nrsimhaya. Do you know where you can find that? In Prabhupada's books. It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? When Lord Chaitanya would go to the temple of Lord Jagannath every day, he would go up the steps, and just before you go in, there's a temple of Lord Nrsimha there. So Lord Chaitanya would come, and before entering the temple of Lord Nrsimha, of Jagannath, he would pay his obeisances with the left side towards the deity and chant that prayer. Namaste Nrsimhaya. So it's by Lord Chaitanya, every day chanting that prayer. And one time in Los Angeles, as I've heard, there was, during the Arctic or something, someone threw one of these big explosives, 4th of July explosives, cherry bomb. It bounced off the window and exploded, like that. And trying to harass the devotees. And then Prabhupada said, "What is that?" And they explained. And he said, "All right, from this day onwards, after every Aratik, you should chant these two songs. Namaste Nrsimhaya, Tavakar Kama. And one is for the protection of Iskcon, and the other is for protection of the spiritual master. Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki." So many stories about Lord Nrsimha, taking responsibility to protect the devotees. We could go on talking, forever about that. But the real thing is that everybody becomes free from envy. Because if everybody is free from envy, then there's no need to protect anybody from anything else, like that. I guess that, I don't know, the lions would still kill people. And they would do without envy, Prabhu, please forgive me. I haven't eaten for 4 or 5 days. That's okay. It's a great honor to be eaten by somebody by you. We're all going to go sometime. I don't know. Nrsimha Day. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nrsimha Day to sit in our hearts. We should chant Bahir Nrsimho, Hridaye Nrsimho. Let Lord Nrsimha Day sit in the core of my heart. So every time we're praying. Killing all my bad propensities. Wow. Let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. So Vishwanath Chakravarti has given a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure, Nishkam devotees pray for some benediction, as instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastakam. Ainanda tanujakyan karam patitam mam vishame babam budao kripaya tava pada pankaja iktaduli sadrisam vichintaya. And someplace else I read, Prabhupada said you can chant your japa in this mood. You can chant your Mahamantra japa in the mood of this prayer like that. It's from the Shikshastakam. And I've also heard the Prabhupada told Guru Kripa Swami that you can chant in the mood of all the prayers in the Shikshastakam. You can use that for chanting, to guide your mood. Because we're always chanting, we're saying, Krishna, 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 Krishna. But what does it mean? You give the story of, there were 2 dacoit guys, by the side of the road, drinking some alcohol they got. And the Vaishnavas went by in the kirtan chanting, Radhe, 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 Radhe. So one dacoit said to the other, I like very much when the Vaishnavas go by chanting Radhe, Radhe. And the other guy said, well, why is that? You're not a holy man. And he said, because the barber's wife is named Radhe. And I'm always thinking when I get a little time. So what do you mean when you're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? You can teach your parrot to chant Hare Krishna. But Prabhupada says at the time of death he won't chant Hare Krishna. He'll chant cat, 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 ah. Yeah. So we have to chant with meaning. And what is the meaning? I want to go back to bed, I want to go back to bed. Or Coca-Cola. It feels good. It stimulates something. Okay, so the more we can chant with meaning, that's why, for example, it's nice to chant a few rounds and then stop and read a little bit. you know, and then chant some more and fix the mind, you know. That's why the books are there, to perfect our chanting. So this is very, very nice mood for chanting. This is the idea of a Vaishnava, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I am fallen into this ocean of material birth and death. Please pick me up in this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So you can all chant now one Maha Mantra in this mood. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're supposed to all go up now, right? Krishna's feet. Yeah. But you got to chant it a few times, you know, with meaning like that. You know. Bhava Bhakti means that we know our relationship with Krishna, like that, but it's just not intense. Vaidhi Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. I'm a cow, I'm a cowherd boy, I'm a soldier in Ram's army. Yeah, we know it. We come back to that point. It's a long way to go to come to Bhava Bhakti. But we can do it. We can do it rapidly. Then once you come to Bhava Bhakti, then you have to intensify it. You know, so you're really praying with it. And then Krishna can reciprocate. Krishna can reciprocate. You know? So this is Vaishnava, always praying to be, you know, fixed as the lotus feet of Krishna. So even the devotees, pure devotees, they have no desires. They ask something when they say prayers. You know? In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mama Jamani Jamani Svare Bhavata Bhaktya Hoituki Twai. Life after life, kindly let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your lotus feet. When Prahlad Maharaj chants, Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord. But because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. His first desire, the first desire expressed in this prayer is Svastiastu Vishvasa. Let there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. So that's the purpose of Radha Nilamadhavadam, right? We've got a lot of people here. And Radha Nilamadhavadam is dedicating to wishing good fortune for all the people in Houston, right? All the people in Texas. All the people in the whole universe. There should be some good vibe going out like that, you know? Yeah. But first off, we have to have the attitude before we can intensify it and make it practical. Yeah? But because he was exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for sense gratification. Yeah, he wanted that there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. Prahlad Maharaj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanika Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. A snake, and the other is a man like Hiranyakasipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even his father or son. Hiranyakasipu was envious of his little son, Prahlad, but Prahlad Maharaj asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakasipu was very envious of devotees like Prahlad, but Prahlad wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. Kala prasidatam. The difficulty is that the kala, the envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of kala, the snake, can be pacified by mantras or by chanting or by the action of a particular herb. Mantrausadi vishaha sarpa kala kena nirvayete. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shivam Metodiya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others. But in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Right? Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that everyone's mind become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. Vachatat ad hoksajay. As indicated elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Swayamana Krishna Padara Vindayor, and as advised by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, 1865, Mamana Bhavaman Bhakto, one should constantly think of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Then one's mind will certainly become cleansed. Chetodarpanam Arjunam. Materialists always think of sense gratification, yes. But Prahlad Maharaj says that the Lord's mercy will change their minds. And they will stop thinking of sense gratification. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would become vacated, because everyone would go back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible, because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. So tomorrow night we're going to start a series of discussions on Upadeshamrita, and that will lead us to the prayers, to the comments by Haridas Thakur, right? Who explains these things in great detail, how the Krishna consciousness movement can spread like that, how all living entities will become benefited by this. Not just the envious people, but also the trees and plants, like that, and bacteria, everything like that. You know? And of course this is very interesting because Haridas Thakur is an incarnation of Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah. So he keeps coming again and again. Yesterday was the disappearance day of Jayananda Das, very great devotee. Many people have commented, Tamal Krishna Maharaj included, Satsrup Maharaj. If anybody is an eternal associate of Prabhupada, it's probably Jayananda, like that. He met Prabhupada, was so attached to him. He's a very big devotee. He was a mechanical engineer. And always looking for spiritual life. His grandfather was a Christian minister like that. You know. So he joined Prabhupada very soon. He appreciated this. He was in San Francisco. And then he was there in, where was that place? Carl Street? No, right in front of there. What it is. Anyway, sometimes the Golden Gate Park was right near there. And so then Prabhupada would say, Jayananda, it's time to take your dog for a walk. Like that. Referring to himself like that. And they would go walking in the park and he would talk many times like that. So he had a very intimate relationship with Prabhupada. He probably wanted the Rath Yatra, so he did it. You know, so much effort, so much sacrifice to get the Rath Yatra going. We have it probably because of his mercy. One time the construction of the cart wasn't finishing, so many problems, it wasn't going to happen. So he went, 72 hours without eating or sleeping. Like that. 3 days, didn't eat or sleep. Everybody was animated because of him. Got to finish this on time. But boy, I'm so tired. Come on, get back. We can do it for Prabhupada. I was like that. You know, everybody was animated like that. And after the whole thing was over, the cart would disassemble, and he would give cakes to everybody who helped us. In the government, everybody knew him in the government because after this festival, the Hare Krishna festival, one cake would come. He'd hide it up, cookies, you know, like that. You know. So after everything was finished, he sat down in some Grihasta's house like that and chanted, 48 rounds without getting up. He sat down and chanted 48 rounds straight through. And sometimes you see him, he'd be chanting, he'd be crying, and stuff like that. You know. So I'm having an experience. This is not an ordinary human being like that. And his foremost quality was humility, just always taking shelter of Krishna and Prabhupada. So my own speculation is that maybe he was incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. And look at his disappearance day. His disappearance was the day before Nrsimha Day. I've heard somebody ask Prabhupada, is it true that some people in this movement came from the spiritual world to help this movement? And Prabhupada said, if you knew who some of the people in this movement were, you'd be surprised. So, look around here. Yeah. And especially, also Prabhupada too, one Grihasta couple, they wrote to Prabhupada and they said, we have a very nice new little child like that. Then Prabhupada said, very nice. You have to understand that your baby is not an ordinary person. Krishna does not send ordinary people to be children of devotees. Like that, you know? So sometimes they're great demons. Let's not get carried away. So he says, he says, therefore you have great responsibility to protect your children very nicely from the witch, you know, so they can grow up and do wonderful things for society. Like that. So this movement is all auspicious. You know, it's auspicious producing in the Grihastha ashram. It's auspicious to travel and preach. A sannyasi's duty is to travel from door to door, you know, to preach the holy scriptures to the Grihasthas. Grihastha's duty is to invite people to come to his house to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. You know? And so it goes on expanding like that. Many, many, many cases you can see how Prabhupada's ideas have gone into society. Myself, I know I've exactly seen one line. Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada, Bhakti Sudamara Maharaj, myself, Bhakti Samaras Bandapajaya, University of Calcutta, and now all the universities in Calcutta are trying to investigate science and technology in ancient India, because the University of Calcutta has success. You know? But I saw directly how it passed. The idea passed like that, and it's gone into society. You know? This is one of the biggest criticisms of India. It has good philosophy, it has probably good psychology, but there's something really wrong with the philosophy, because they never developed technology like that, and therefore they were conquered by us Europeans. So our philosophy is more practical, better. Yeah, but it's not a fact. If you look at the history of science and technology, they were making batteries before the birth of Christ, right? They had metallurgy that was produced at Heliodorus column. It's been outside in the rain for something like, I don't know, 2,000 years and it hasn't rusted. Nobody can still figure out how to do it. You know? So there's one thing after another in terms of manifestations of very high technological accomplishments. You know? But they thought this was just superficial. The real accomplishment is development of the soul, right? That you become purified yourself, you get Lord Nrsimha to sit in your heart, and get rid of all these envious desires. I see so many in my heart. You know? I keep them under control, but my God, so many things. You know? And then we can peacefully worship Radha and Krishna. You know? And then also we'll be able then to radiate that to other people. You know? We'll give them ideas. We'll understand. You may not know the Sanskrit or anything else, but you understand the ideas. It goes into your heart. So whenever you go in your workplace, you talk about so many things at work. I mean, it's not just business, right, when you go to work. I'm sorry, you're forbidden to talk about anything human. You can only talk about the business like that, you know. No, you talk about so many things. You have to know people and what's going on, you know, and so many things. You know, you treat them as human beings. You know, can you take care of this today? I know it's a little bit late. Can you get it done? Okay, I'll do it. Thanks, Bob. You know? Yeah, you're treating him like a human being, you know? And that goes out, you know. And honestly speaking, the Third World War was predicted, you know, between Russia and, you know, the First World and the Second World. There was going to be a nuclear war, you know. But I would say really because this movement spread everywhere and the energy went there, then people began to think about other people and how to solve their problems, you know, without kind of violence like that. You know? So if we just go on for a little while longer, we're going to see even more and more results like that. Everybody who drives by in the street is going to ask, what is that building? You know, it's next to the YMCA. Oh, that's the Hare Krishna temple. They're Muslims. Muslims aren't all bad, you know. So building temples, right? Distributing prasadam, and especially getting the sound vibration out to tell people we're not Muslims, you know. We're vegetarians and we're big and strong. Like that. Our kids are big and strong. It's amazing the second generation of kids in this movement. They're big, and strong, and very sharp too, like that, and so on. So today, a very auspicious day. We can all pray Lord Nrsimha to enter our hearts. Many, many prayers. We can go on forever like that, discussing this. Actually, next year should be a 1-week festival, right? Nrsimha Chaturdashi should be a week-long festival, you know, chanting, hearing, everything else like that. And then automatically Krishna will take care of everything else. Automatically. You don't have to worry about all these things. Your Grihastha ashram will become filled with devotional service like that. So any final questions, comments? Actually, we're supposed to fast until sunset. Because it's sunset, between the dark and the daylight, right about now, when Hiranyakasipu got it. It wasn't daytime and it wasn't nighttime. It wasn't inside, it wasn't outside. Right? It wasn't in the sky, on the land, or in the water. And he wasn't killed by any weapon. And what else? That's about it. Oh yeah, he wasn't killed by any of the 8,400,000 species of life. Yeah. Yeah. But Krishna figured it all out. Because Krishna knows calculus. Right? Given any continuous f of x, any delta f of x, you can always find a delta x that will fall within the range. Yeah. So any final questions?